This is Callan Diggs of ReachingTheFinishLine.com, helping you to reach the finish line. In today's video, I want to explore about the context of wisdom, which is a preview to a bigger insight. And many people are aware of two types of movements. You have the Boy Scout movement that typically people do at a very young age. And typically, you also have the prepper movement, whether it's preppers or they're Mormons or doomsday preppers, whatever it is. But we look at both of these groups. One group tend to have a more favorable impression on society, while the other group tends to have more of a unfavorable impression of society. Sometimes they'll call these preppers, whether they're Mormons, doomsday, whatever, conspiracy theorists, or crazy people, whatever it is. Perhaps you don't feel that way, but the majority of society has kind of had that perception on people like that. But whether it's Boy Scouts or whether it's preppers, they both emphasize one important lesson. And do you know what that is? If you was a Boy Scout or know someone was a Boy Scout, what was that lesson that you was always kind of taught over and over again as a prepper? Why, or if you know someone's a prepper, why are they so inclined to have so many things or have so many excess of things, a very heavy supply of things? And that comes down to the lesson of being prepared. Now, when people look at the Boy Scouts, they say, oh, well, yeah, that's smart. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, they should be prepared. There's things like natural disasters, and again, many people look favorably upon Boy Scouts. But when preppers, doomsday preppers, Mormons, these other types of groups, when they make the same argument, people have this, they're kooks, they're conspiracy theorists, they are doom and gloomers. Does age have something to do with it? As Boy Scouts are typically significantly younger than many of these preppers of these various groups. Does age have something to do with it? The reality is that being prepared is a timeless lesson that we need to hold dear to our heart. Many people are not prepared. So if we peer into an average person's life, many people are a paycheck away from homelessness. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're living below the poverty line, and they're not working at all, and they're confined and have to rely on government assistance. Either they're at the poverty line, which puts them in a similar situation. Maybe they're slightly above the poverty line. So that's a situation where many people, they may say, oh, well, preparing for what? And there's no one that's hopeless. You have to be flexible and be willing to change your position. If you give yourself more options, you will have more flexibility, which will in a sense increase your quality of life. I touch on this topic like financial sustainability because money is typically the issue. People always say, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. And typically they don't have enough time because they're busy making money. Or they don't have enough money because unfortunately they are selling their time at a very subpar hourly rate. And I just want to emphasize that you have options. And in order to be more prepared, you have to create more options for yourself, which requires you to be more open minded, to be more flexible. And through that mentality, that's how you will reach the finish line. Unfortunately, many people take for granted the country that they live in, and they say, "Oh, this will never happen to me." For example, the people who have been on government assistance for years, and they think, "Oh, the government will figure it out. It'll never happen to me," or or somehow they type of reason that it's a spiritual thing, that I'm one of God's children, so this won't happen to me. God has my best interests. And I'm not deducing a person's religious beliefs, but many people either put their life in government's hands, or they put their life in hands of their according to their religious deity, and they do that without taking any action on their behalf. So again, they'll depend on the government, or they'll depend on God, but they won't actually do anything. To them, it's they kind of have a genie, whether that genie is an institution, or whether that genie is a spiritual deity. They feel that they don't have to do anything, and that is all going to work out. And it's a sad mentality to adopt, just like the other mentality, which is very kind of ancient mentality, that if I have a lot of kids, then when I get older, I'll have, I'll be taken care of. And I just want to say that we live in such an exciting time right now, as technology rapidly advances, and as the barrier to entry to become financially sustainable, it's lower than ever, which presents a lot of opportunity for many people, giving people the opportunity to reach their finish line. The Boy Scouts, the Boy Scout organization, has done a good service in instilling such a timeless principle into young kids. And the prepper movement has the same thing, has really been a prime relevant example of the importance of preparedness. And whether you like one or the other, the reality is, if you want to reach the finish line, having some preparation will be advantageous to you. And finances is one thing, but sometimes you may want to take it a step further. And that's when you can actually go beyond your borders and see the opportunities that are available to you. I'll talk about that in another video. If you want to stay tuned, I'm making videos every day to every other day. You be sure to subscribe, and you can get my videos at a moment's notice. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. It's my intention for you to reach the finish line. And if you want to do that, you can start by going to reachingthefinishline.com. And until next time, I hope you're reaching your finish line.